Hi, this is, I think, video 5. I need to double check my notes really quick here. Welcome back to the CompleteWebDIYCourse.com. Today is October 29th, 2015. I have an absolutely unreal amount of notes here. It's been a really busy morning. I spent the morning getting my kiddo off to school and spending some time with my husband before he went to work, and working on my normal primary work contracts, and then brainstorming and making some phone calls about some other marketing ideas, and then thinking over the last video tutorial and combining in what the goals are for the tutorials progression with some information that was kind of brought to my attention that I should address as we're moving forward. So, all of that vague description aside, let's get into the actual details. Okay, so upon the beginning of the tutorial and the first few tutorial videos, I explained to everyone that you're going to need a domain name and you're going to need a hosting plan to go with that. And there's at oneandone.com, the number 1, it's oneandone.com. If you go and you purchase a domain name as a new customer, what it does is it puts the domain into a little contract package. And if you want to buy hosting, it's kind of tricky. If you want to look at the hosting plans the way that I explained them in the previous tutorial, you have to log out of your account and kind of go to the website as though you're a new customer, and then you go to web hosting, and then it shows you the unlimited plans, and there's like basic plus and pro, or regular plus and then pro, and I had recommended pro and buying it for 12 months at a time, and then of course if you want to try one of the lower level ones, you can always upgrade later. So something that I wanted to clarify about that step-by-step process is, if you are already logged in and you're looking at your domain and you try to view hosting plans while you're already logged in, you can't. At least you can't by clicking on hosting like you normally would. It tries to prompt you to try out this thing they have that's called like My Website Builder Plus or something like that nature. And what that is there's a lot of those out there. Different companies offer them, all different kinds of companies offer them, and it's, some people call it WYSIWYG, or what you see is what you get. It's supposed to be a platform where you can build a website if you don't know anything about coding, and then you can call the company and say, okay, I'm trying to learn how to use this user interface, I'm trying to build this website with your program, I'm stuck here, I'm stuck there, can you help me? And they'll help you to a certain extent, and then sometimes if the amount of help that you're needing is exceeding what their normal allowance is for assisting these types of things, then they can say, well, hey, you know, we can do a whole bunch of this for you at such and such a rate, and then you pay extra. So for me, I don't like those programs because they're just not right for me. The time it would take me to figure out how to use various WYSIWYG programs, or what you see is what you get, just trying to familiarize with the interface and then trying to change the preset template to be what I actually need it to be, is so much more time consuming and so much more of a headache to me than just building a website and coding it myself. And so I called oneandone.com and I said, why is it that when I'm logged in with my domain name and I want to add hosting, I can't see the hosting packages? The only option it gives me is to try out this website builder program. And you know, I said I have to log out and clear my cache, go to the website as though I'm a new customer, then I can browse just for hosting plans and pick one out and buy one, and then at the time of checkout I have to say, oh, I already have an account, and this is the account the hosting needs to go into, because that's where the domain is at, right? Okay, so oneandone.com is an amazing company, and they've restructured their website a little bit off and on over the years, like all companies do, because technology is changing and moving forward at all times. And the customer service rep and tech support people had explained to me there is a way to view the hosting plans when you're logged in, but it's not the way that you would logically, naturally try to search for those options. And so it is kind of tricky. So what they actually requested that I do is that I send an email to a specific supervisor at One-on-One to suggest the user interface issues that I think would help the company to make more money. And I just feel like as a consumer, as a customer, whenever I am shopping at a website for anything, logically in my head, because of the patterns that have been created across all other shopping websites, is I log into the account that exists and I purchase more and more and more products within that account. And especially if the two items are going to be connected to each other in some way. So my simple suggestion was that it would be really awesome if, when I was logged in after I bought the domain and I thought, okay, the next step is to pick out a hosting plan, it should have like two options. Instead of the one, it should have two options that pop up, and one should say, I am a student or I'm a web developer and I want to pick out a hosting plan. And then on the other side it should say, I really need help building a website. I would like to use the Website Builder Plus and give that a try for free for 30 days, the way that they're doing. And that way, right there from the get-go, it's, you know, it's like a tree that branches off and you can choose your path. And of course, for me or any of my students watching my tutorial, or anyone who's wanting to build a website themselves or code themselves, they would ignore the, you know, the WYSIWYG, the build it yourself with our program thing, and they would go to the hosting plan where they just code and upload files. So I would love it if your website would work that way. It would be so much easier for me, for my students, for aspiring web developers, for small business owners who are trying to build their own website, for students, for young people who, you know, want to learn how to do this stuff. Maybe they have a parent or a friend that's an adult. They can help them set up an account so they can practice their skills. My whole educational initiative with these tutorials is to have a positive impact by teaching people how easy it really is to use some HTML5 and some CSS3 and build a 1 to 5 page website and have all the bells and whistles, make it Google mobile friendly, and customize it to have just the pieces and parts that you need and want, and to be able to easily modify those files yourself. And so that's my goal. I believe in it creating opportunities. I believe in it as an educational initiative. It's also good for the domain and hosting companies, because especially ones like One-on-One, where the service they provide is such high quality and they have been in the industry for so many years, expanding the accessibility of these products and increasing the ease of navigating the purchasing of these products is going to combine with the increased knowledge of how to utilize these products, and more people are going to use them, more people are going to buy these products, and ultimately I think that's going to lead to more people having their own businesses, more people starting charities, more people expanding churches, more people spreading positive ideas, sharing positive ideas, sharing research that's valuable, and it's something that I really believe in, and I want to help in any way I can to make it as effective and progressive as possible. So, okay, that's I'm going to send him an email and link this video to him. Hopefully I wrote down the email address properly. And thank you, by the way. I absolutely love oneandone.com. Every time I talk to them, their customer service, their tech support, their sales team, everyone is absolutely fantastic. And I've done business with some other companies in the past, some that I've seen more frequently in TV ads in the past, and I would choose One-and-One over the others in a split second any day, and that's why it's the only company I recommend throughout all of my tutorials. Again, if you're making a purchase, if you want to mention my referral code, it's 449856692. If you say, this is the customer ID that referred me here, sometimes that might be able to get you a special deal, and I might be able to make a little referral commission, possibly. So it would really mean a lot to me if you heard about this company through me, if you mentioned my referral code. If you forget to, it's not the end of the world. I will forgive you. I won't even know about it. Okay, so let me make a note here. Video 5. So we went over the one-and-one functionality, setup, and so hopefully that clarifies some of your purchasing process. The next thing that I want to talk about a little bit is backlinks. Backlinks, and I'm going to adjust this heater back here. It's chilly this morning, and the heater is a little bit warmer than it needs to be. Okay, so another thing that I want to mention to everyone is if you take this course and you build a website and you're happy with the site that you built and you would like me to link to your website, I would love to do that. I would absolutely love to do that. So if you email me, let's see here. Make sure I give you the right email. It's in the image at the very beginning of I put away some of my tutorial notes in my filing cabinet. If you email me at tcwdiyc@gmail.com. If you email me there and send me a request, say I watched your tutorials, I built this website using your tutorials, I'm linking to you, which I'm going to teach you how to link to another website or another web page in the upcoming tutorials, and say, would you please link back to me? What I can do is create a page within my website that will be indexed by the search engines, and it will link back to you and then have a brief description of what your site is about and who it might cater to. So I would absolutely love to do that. Backlinks and forward links, however you want to look at them depending on who owns which site, are part of search engine optimization. And I'm going to talk about this just very briefly. When you have a website, there are several factors that come into play as far as you getting results in search engines. Sometimes the amount of time that the website has existed can impact search engine results. The words, phrases, names of images, names of files, names of folders, name of your website description, its keywords, its organization, it's how it links to other sites, how many other sites link back to it, the amount of traffic that it gets, the amount of visitors that it gets, the amount of times the keywords for that business are searched for, I'm just listing some things that impact search engine optimization. Getting your, just any way that you are able to connect with other websites and link back to your site and you link to other sites. All of these things can impact your search engine optimization. So when you think of your website, you want to think about this. Who is your desired audience? Who are you trying to reach? Is it people in a certain area? Is it people seeking a certain service? Is it people who are looking to find a new church? Is it people who are looking to be part of a charity? Just who is your desired group of people that you want to reach, and what keywords would they search? What questions would they type in a search engine that you would hope the answer produced would result in you and your website? That's how you have to think about search engine optimization. So I'm going to teach you how to get all of that. You also want to make sure that your code is valid and validated. That helps. You want to make sure that your hosting plan is a proper level or grade so that it handles traffic well, so that the content on your site performs quickly. That can affect it. You want to make sure you don't have broken links and broken code. That's a really easy thing to make sure is done. We'll go over that later. So anyway, linking to one another, just send me an email request. I touched on search engine optimization a little bit. On video 6, we're going to add some more information to the head section of your homepage, and we might add our first image, and we may add our first link. As far as coding goes, I had originally planned to do more coding during this video, but there's just some topics I want to review and go over first. So by now your domain and your hosting package should be connected to each other if you followed the steps in video 4 to link them together. It does just take a little bit of time. Mine ended up being linked together after I took those manual steps. Probably within the next half hour after I finished that video. I'm checking the clock here because I have to be somewhere at 12:30 today, and it's about 11:36 a.m. right now. What else was I going to cover? Also, when you went to download FileZilla in video 4, I mentioned download FileZilla where it says for Windows, but you want to download FileZilla where it says Client, FileZilla Client. It's actually the button on the left. The one that says for Windows, it might work, but the other one is for like kind of any platform. So go back and download the other one. And if you have any trouble with that or you're confused, just let me know. So I'm going to write down FileZilla Client, multi-platform. And to uninstall the other one first, you would just go into your control panel and find the section where it says uninstall programs, and you would just find where it said that, and you'd click on it and you'd select uninstall and just wait for it to uninstall. No big deal. Just like anytime your computer has something on it that you don't want there, you're going to go into control panel, programs, uninstall programs, and you'll pull up a list of all your programs. You can sort them by the date that they were installed, and that can be a good way to find things that you don't want to have there or that shouldn't be there and remove them. Sometimes if you have a computer that is really giving you a ton of trouble, if you have all of your files saved to your memory stick rather than saving them into your computer, you just pull this stick out and you can do a factory reset or a complete system reset and restore your computer back to the state that it was in when you pulled it out of the box. I did that with both of my computers last night. I do it sometimes twice a year, sometimes once a year. But it's a good way to make sure that you have all the newest drivers and software, and that you don't have any extra things that you don't need. For me, I think it improves the performance of the device. So I touched on factory reset. I can't walk you through all those steps right now, but hopefully if you Google it, you can figure it out, or just the brief description I gave might be able to help you figure it out. I took notes on so many different things yesterday for various projects that I'm working on all at once right now that it's so tricky for me to keep up with everything. I don't know if anyone else has ever had a day like that where you just have, you're multitasking, you have so many different projects, you have so many different work contracts, and you end up with like several pages just full of notes where you're writing things down in a hurry, and then you really need to go back and like transcribe your notes and like rewrite them and organize them, and you just haven't had time to yet because you're already moving on to the next step of the process. So the last thing I think I was going to touch on in this video is video 5, because video 6 I'm going to try to strictly focus on coding and nothing else. I was going to talk about money and financing your project. If you are in a really tight financial situation, then funding this can be really overwhelming. So you just have to be really good at your budget. You might want to consider getting one of the unlimited hosting plans that's less expensive and doing it on a month-to-month basis, just so your cash flow is not so suddenly impacted by paying for a whole year at a time. When you pay for a whole year at a time, you get a huge discount. I mean, if you get Unlimited Pro, you can save $60 if you pay for 12 months at once rather than paying for it monthly. But just always bear in mind, you can change your plans. Just be careful as you do it. Call customer service, because sometimes you might need to back up files and have them all organized and then upload them again. Sometimes, in some cases, they can change your plan and the files will move with it, but just in case they can't, you want to make sure that you've been organizing all your files here and then having copies of them on your desktop too. And I'm going to walk you through how to do that in a really effective way as we're doing the project together. If you're coming across the tutorials October 29th, 2015, the websites are not built yet. The site that's the example site is going to be built as we progress together, and then it's going to stay built. And then the site that's going to be the directory for the course, it's not built at all yet. It's going to have, you know, a title and an image and a logo, and then it's going to have a list of all the videos with all the titles of the videos, and hopefully eventually it'll have some transcription of what I say in the videos, and then there will be links for source code as well, so you can click on that and print it out and just have it to look at and familiarize your eyes with this code, and write on the paper and make notes and say, this line does this, and this line does that, and this tag does this, and this tag does that, and this is the section that makes the image show, and this is the section that centers that, and this is the section that is a link. And you know, that was something that I did a lot when I was trying to learn how to code on my own. I would just print things out. I would print out source code from random web pages, and I would take my kid to the park, because I was a single mom at the time, and while she was running around playing, I would be holding this big stack of paper, just glancing at all this code and going, I would like circle something and say, okay, well, you know, that says IMG. That sounds like the word image. I bet that has something to do with displaying an image, and look this up and figure out what this means later. And just trying to make it all look familiar to my eyes. It's a lot like learning new vocabulary or new terminology, except it's like a bunch of little nicknames for things instead. So money and financing your project. So you might want to go with a different hosting plan or a way of paying for the plan month to month. If you need a better computer, you could consider renting electronics. You could get I purchased a computer for my daughter a while back. It was $179. It only links to the internet through a Wi-Fi signal, however. The computer I purchased most recently, I purchased actually at QVC.com. Around this time of year, they have sometimes some really great deals. Well, all year long they have great deals on very powerful computers, and they'll do the 6 easy pay plan. So let's say you don't have a credit card, but you know you have regular income, and you can't afford to buy a $600 or $700 machine, but you know this is the kind of power and performance that you're going to need. If they have one of their 6 easy pay plans, then what they'll do is you place the order, they ship it out to you, you get it in like 2 or 3 weeks. Then a week or two, maybe a few days after it arrives with you, they'll bill you for 1/6 of the cost of the device. And then once a month, it will automatically come out of your checking account. So it's just awesome. I love the way they sell high quality electronics, because it's great for students, it's great for business owners, it's great for personal use. It doesn't break the bank, it doesn't force you to use a credit card, and it really helps you to afford things that you need but that you can't afford. So shout out to QVC for being amazing on that respect. Walmart is another great place to buy computers. I'm a big believer in buying new computers that are either inexpensive and that I can find at a place like Walmart where I can return it if there's some sort of problem right away, or doing something expensive with a company like QVC. QVC also has an amazing returns department. If you get something and it doesn't work right, they will treat you right. They will take care of you. They will make sure you can return your product and you will get a full refund. They're absolutely fabulous, just wonderful customer service. So another thing about financing electronics, I like to share this just as a tidbit, because anybody that's trying to start a small business or that's a student could definitely benefit from this if you don't already know. And I need to grab a couple of things so that I can show it to you really quick. And sorry this is taking me a moment. It's been like I said, an extremely busy day. And I'm also just somebody that if I have a money saving tip, I'm going to throw it in here, because this is directed at people who are, you know, students, or they're trying to better themselves, or they're trying to do something with a business or a charity, or if you're like me, you were a single parent for a lot of years, and money is something that needs to be handled with care, and if you like to be frugal, then be frugal, because it's going to help you in the long run. Okay, so here's the phone thing. There is an ad right now going around for, I think it's, well, I don't know if I should say the name of the company, but it's one of those places where you can rent things like Aaron's or Rent-A-Center, those types of places, if you've ever heard of those. They have different names in different parts of the country. And it's a phone that looks exactly like this. In fact, it's the same company as this. And they're letting people rent these smartphones for something like $30 or $40 a month. I saw this ad and I almost fell down. This is a Moto 3G smartphone. I know everybody's into like 4G and 5G and all this new stuff, okay? But the Verizon prepaid Moto 3G smartphone, you can find these on Amazon for about $40, $45, sometimes less expensive, brand new. Because they're 3G, which is just a hair slower, like honestly, I can't even tell a difference ever when I use this. A lot of people have lost interest in them, and you can't find them in stores very much. But you can buy this prepaid Verizon Moto 3G phone on Amazon for like $40, $45, okay? And then free shipping. And then all you have to pay is $45 a month, unlimited talk, text, and pretty much enough data to do what most average people would want to be able to do with their phone. Not to mention, the best feature about this Moto 3G Verizon prepaid phone that you can find on Amazon is the camera that is built into it is better than anybody else's camera that I've ever come across as far as quality of image. I have taken photographs of flowers where I can literally clearly see the high definition grains of pollen within them. I mean, just beautiful, brilliant colors. And that's without me having to adjust any settings. I've taken pictures of my wedding band, which I need to put back on. And usually a really good way to test out a camera is trying to take a picture of a piece of jewelry that has diamonds in it, or any kind of sparkling jewel. If you can get a clear image of that, clear enough to take a picture of it and possibly post it online to sell it, because if somebody's going to buy something, they need to see a picture with a lot of clarity, right? That's the quality of picture you're able to take with this thing. That's amazing quality. If you were to buy just a camera outright that could take pictures like that, it would be a lot more than this price. So something that I do to save money is I have this $12 Verizon prepaid cell phone, and for $35 a month you can do unlimited talk and text on this phone. It gets excellent service because it's Verizon. I have another one for my daughter because she has food allergies and asthma, and I want to make sure that she can contact us, and if we're at the store and things get crazy and busy, if we get split up, you know, she can call us or we can call her or whatever. But you just can't beat it for $35 on the most powerful network in the US. And then because it's all prepaid, you can pay for it or let it turn off at whatever time, and there's never overage charges. With prepaid, if you run out of something, like if your data gets low, it just says, hey, your data's low, you're going to have to use Wi-Fi or whatever. But I've never run out of data. And so anyway, so what I do with this is maybe once every 2 to 3 months I'll put some money on it, sometimes 4 or 5 months, sometimes just once every 6 months. I'll pay for 1 month of service on it, which is $45. Even after the $45 runs out and I can't talk or text anymore, I can still use it for Wi-Fi, anywhere that I can link into Wi-Fi, home or out in town. I can still take pictures with it and videos with it, and I can get a cord and plug it into my laptop and transfer all those absolutely breathtaking images and videos direct from the phone into the laptop, without the phone even being like, you know, something I can talk on or make calls on. Because that's a software program, it's a camera program, it doesn't need a phone to work. And the Wi-Fi type things are tapping into free Wi-Fi, so it doesn't need like a phone service in order to work. So anyway, that's a great way to have kind of the best of both worlds when you need it. And if you keep a phone card with you to turn this on, then you can just carry around the phone card and keep it in your bag. And then let's say you lose this phone, or it breaks, or you drop it, or whatever, and you've got this one in your purse or in your bag. You just pull this out of your bag, and you already have that phone card, and you load it on, and you just start using it. So anyway, it's good to have a combination of these. It's a really great way to save money and have the best of both worlds. So I had to share that because I just thought, oh my gosh, are people really paying like $40 a month to rent what is basically this, but a hair faster? And you know, there may be other features on it as well, but if you're just going in your run-of-the-mill day-to-day types of usages for phones, you really don't need to be paying that kind of money for a phone, especially if you're taking your budget into consideration. If your budget's not an issue, by all means, just do whatever you want and, you know, have fun. But I like to save where I can so that I have funds for other things when possible. Windows 10 is trying to ask me to complete a survey because I did a factory reset and I reinstalled Windows 10. So I'm going to minimize that for now. Do you want to keep quick access in your taskbar? Sure. So let me make a couple of quick notes here. So we talked about the phones. Now, let's say you have access to the internet, but you have no money and you absolutely cannot afford to buy a hosting plan or a domain name. You can still take this class. You can still learn how to code. What you have to do is save all of the files that you create to your desktop. And I'm going to write down no money for hosting and domain. File organization option. There was a period of time where my budget was so tight as a single parent that a single parent with no support is what I should specify there. A single parent with no support. That money just did not exist for a lot of things. And some of those things sometimes were bills from one month to the next. Just things that you would need to survive. So it was always a game of playing. And it was very frustrating because I wanted to learn this skill, but I couldn't buy hosting or domains. I couldn't afford it. So what you do basically in a nutshell is you save your index file.html, index.html. It's saved to your desktop like it is right now. And then you save all of your images and all of your other page files to your desktop. Your other pages on your desktop are going to have names like aboutme.html, contactme.html, myblog.html, just to come up with some short names, because there's actually some longer names that you could use that might help search engine optimization. But just as examples, your index.html saved in your public directory is like the root. It's actually kind of like the trunk of a tree, and it can branch out, you know, in various ways. If it branches out upwards, it branches out into its own files and pages, and the roots leading into it would be like maybe other websites that are linking to your site. Okay, so it's kind of like an index page in a book or a contents page in a book. It branches off to all these other pages. So there's a way to do this and practice these skills on your home computer. Because if you double click that index file while it's on your desktop right now, the one that we created the other day, or if you right click on it and you say open with Google Chrome, that file will open and run in Google Chrome, and you'll probably get the exact same result that you get when you have it in a hosting plan. The only difference is other people can't see it. Only you can see it. And, you know, So if you want to practice the skill and you don't have the money yet to set up the hosting or the domain, you can still take this course. You can still do all the steps. You're just going to keep everything on your desktop, and you're going to test run things on your desktop. Other people won't be able to see it. There are some functionality features that will not function the same when you run a website from your desktop. They won't work the same as they would from the desktop as they would when they're run within a server in a hosting plan. But most of this stuff basically is going to function the way you would want it to, so you can preview it. And then the good part is you'll have the whole website built, and then when you do have money for hosting, you can just upload all the files and that's it. Okay, well that is my alarm. I have to get going, and I'm going to end this video. Again, to recap, this is video 5, and in video 6 we are going to focus on coding specifically and try not to deviate from that at all. And we're going to do some additions to the head section of our index file. We're going to add our first image to our home page, which is our index file, and we're going to add our first link to our home page or your index file. So that's it. All right. Thank you very much. I hope you have a wonderful day. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.